Right, so what's in your energy today? Okay. You've left a karmic cycle and your spirit team want you to know well done. Your healing is nearly complete and you speak the truth, or you're more in contact with the truth. Right, so you do have another energy in here and it feels very similar to energies I've picked up on before. One in particular, possibly a divine masculine upside down. There's nothing I can do. They want to be in your energy, okay? And heartbroken cards come out again. So I don't know. They clearly want you to, your spirit team and them possibly really want you to know that they're heartbroken. I suspect you've left this person, or at least created some distance, or just not as available, or entirely the cord has been completely severed. Yeah. They're going to contact you soon, okay? But Spirit, I think, in this reading is trying to get me to convince you I think to stay on your path. I think you're going to find this really tough when they come in. I think that's why it keeps coming up. I think you're going to find it really hard to stay on your path and not choose love, because I think whether it's love or, you know, just the nature of the significance of the bond itself, you know, especially if it's a spiritual thing, you know, connection, I think you're gonna find it tough. And I think Spirit's trying to balance this out a little bit, because they don't want you to forget about the breadcrumbs. They want you to keep choosing peace. They want to remind you that you've got a new dawn, a new life, and you're starting to feel good, even if it's not every moment. You've left the karmic cycle, well done. You're so aligned that people are actually receiving instant karma when they do you wrong. That's how sort of feisty your spirit team are. And your healing is actually nearly complete. And this person who tried to control you is now feeling trapped in their own game. I believe whatever they were doing to you, maybe this breadcrumbing or actual sort of mental abuse, whatever form that comes in, has always worked. I'm not sure why. Perhaps it worked on you for a while, and by the feeling I'm getting from this energy, it could work again. So I feel like I'm being called to keep a balance, help you balance this. But obviously you have free will, and you have to, you know, if you need to repeat a karmic cycle, you know, there's not much anyone can do about it. But here we are. You are a bit of an enigma, and there's something quite mysterious and intriguing about you. You're just genuinely interesting. I believe this person sees this more now than ever, about you. I don't know if it's because you've pulled your energy completely back and now they can't help but see this. I guess that they're probably comparing you to other people or something like that. They know that you've gone through your evolution, and we always have a butterfly come out of some kind, and there's butterflies on this card here. You're evolving, you're nearly there. The cocoon phase is over, and magic is here too. And I think we've got three cards suggesting abundance. So we've got abundance here, abundance in this deck, and a large sum of money coming to you on there, and victory here, which it doesn't have to be money, you know. Abundance, you know, if you've seen any of my reads, I don't always think it's that, but if that's what you're after, it's more than possible. Maybe, you know, that's your gift from the universe. Again, this can be people, places and things. I know it's leading to upside divine masculine. But I also did feel, I mean, that person, and again, gender roles don't matter too much, so don't, you know, put it where it fits. They could be a father, or I have a feeling this could be something to do with your own father figure, or it doesn't have to be, it could just be like someone senior to you, or this person, you know, you fathered your children, but put that where that fits. But we have some good cards here: love, happiness, magic, evolution, 3 abundance cards. But I am feeling a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe I feel a little bit concerned, I think is the feeling I'm getting. I think I feel I'm just concerned about this person trying to make improvements, probably going to come in with a wedding proposal. And I flipped a coin because wedding comes out so often, you know, different decks, it doesn't matter. And I asked if it's a new person, and it's no. So this person is, you know, serious about how they see you. But I think I started to feel uncomfortable about this, because I feel like these cards came upside down, because this connection, when it does come through, it's going to stop your own dreams, and it's going to stop, you're not going to be able to relax. There's going to be, it's probably going to be high anxiety is what I feel like. So you may, I don't know. And this person isn't ready to take their mask off. It was sideways. So yes, they miss you terribly. They're heartbroken. They realise their control patterns don't work. And again, it doesn't have to be wedding. It could be a higher level of commitment. And again, you know, obviously if this is your father, it wouldn't be a wedding. It could be, you know, they just want a better connection with you. Or if it's mother, you know, put it where it fits. I've been watching your social medias and pictures. So obviously if you are on social media and they can access it somehow, like this person would use secret accounts and everything, and pictures here as well. So that's definitely what they're doing. It could be just some old pictures of you that they've sort of screenshotted if you're not there anymore. But I'm hearing this helps them sleep at night, I just heard. Yeah, so this person feels totally abandoned. I guess I'm also worried, and you've called death to this, and I think they're hoping, and it's because they were an upside down masculine. Again, put it where it fits, people, places and things, but essentially not in their divine truth, because they regret what they did to you. So I'm presuming they were so controlling or so abhorrent, I'm hearing. You recognise that you deserve better. Your angels, your spirits, guides, yourself, your higher self stepped in and did the work. And yes, this person ran because they weren't ready for you. They are sorry they couldn't be what you needed them to be, which is probably just decent or semi-caring. I just get the feeling, if this person has abundance, there's something you know about them that other people can't see, and potentially a secret. It doesn't have to be, but I'm feeling like you'd have to swallow this secret, live a life that's maybe not so relaxing but possibly abundant. Put that where that fits, because it doesn't have to be that. So I guess I'm just a little bit concerned, as you can probably tell, that I don't, because your healing's needed complete, and spirit is really emphasizing this, but their energy is very strong. It's really coming in, you know, like I can't, you know, it's all over the table. I can't really pretend it's not there. But you've done so well. I think I'm just scared that these wings are going to get clipped. Yes, you might have a big wedding or get the connection back, but you're going to have to swallow some kind of secret, pretend you don't see it, whatever that is. So I feel like you're going to have to deny a truth, or maybe you're not, I don't know, let them pretend you don't see something. I think you'd be helping them more than they're helping you, is how I feel. Message, I'm sorry, Spirit, could you allow the messages to fly out for the highest good of all in God's wills to help the collective? Yeah, I saw high vibration upside down. I think it will... I just don't get great feelings about it. And obviously 3 abundance cards looks amazing. And it could just well be they come in, you say no, whoever it is, you carry on with your path and completely heal, head to your abundance, keep evolving, you know, whatever that looks like to you, love and happiness. Maybe you get more into your magic, but that I'm not only getting that feeling here. That's not the energy I'm reading. Another heartbroken card. He tries not to think about it. Karmic. Maybe they're just overlapping, but you put it where it fits. And you get to decide, you know. This person, you don't need to rely on this person for your abundance. That's not why these 3 abundance cards are here. I believe you're just naturally abundant and you found your own abundance, but maybe yeah, exactly, you don't need them. I was just saying that. Thank you, spirits. Always do this. Thank you. You don't need them. Maybe they can offer abundance, though, is what I'm feeling. Maybe this is why they're like that. I'm hearing weirded out that it never worked. Maybe, you know, they're usually around sort of karmic energies that want their abundance, and they, you know, they get on their knees for it, and you didn't. Or, you know, or it controls them. They can use it as a sort of a bargaining tool, and you said no to that. Messages for the collective, please, Spirit, so I can help channel the messages. Could be something to do with a Leo, doesn't have to be, but has strong passion for you. They don't want to admit that they are weak, like their weaknesses. Perhaps that's why that mask is sideways. They don't like doing that, but we've all got strengths and weaknesses. But maybe this person's really built up a big mask that, you know, really protects them, like a big cozy blanket, and it's very different to the energy they really have inside. It says here you're doing the right thing, and I think that's because that's what you're doing right now, which is healing, completing this karmic cycle. Yeah, this person tries to keep you under mind control. Hopefully that hasn't got bigger meanings to that. Came out again. So they definitely were trying to manipulate you, possibly use mental magic or other type of magic to control you. So keep yourself protected. Archangel Michael, I ask for myself and the collective for protection, and to anything that's not of the highest divine light to be blocked. So may it be. Please, yeah, you're doing really well. You're on the right track. Karmic cycles need to complete. Your healings need to complete. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I think you deserve better than this. You're going to find your own abundance in it. If it is money, it's going to come to you. You know, like, You don't need this person, but I do think you have a weak spot for this person. And if it's a high level soulmate, twin flame, or even a parental situation, or even a friend possibly, that you love, it's not that has, you have a soul contract with. It's these things are easier said than done. I do think this person uses magic though. You don't need closure, that bothers them. I'm hearing they rely on people that need closure and they sort of never give it to them. So whatever third party this person had is over. So that's possibly why they're going to be contacting you soon. I felt like I saw another contacting card. But it could be just the fact it comes out nearly in every read. Okay, I'm not surprised. I saw that in my meditation. I could be helpful. Perhaps this person was everything but that. They weren't helpful to you. They actually were beyond unhelpful. They made life difficult for you. Yeah, because they have no respect for themselves. Please don't forget that your energy's increased and how well you're doing. Even if you haven't got loads of money, you found your own abundance, you found your healing, your spirit guides are with you. You're enigmatic, you're mysterious, you're interesting. You don't need this person. I know it's already said you don't need this person, but I feel like I might be tapping into someone today who could be swayed. And obviously that's not my, that's none of my business. Yeah, return back to sender upside down. This person doesn't want you to be returning this energy back to sender. I think possibly because they're doing magic, and obviously that's not going to be. And we did see earlier when we started, where did I see it? People know you're protected, instant karma. If you're doing it, it's throwing back at them, and usually it goes back 3 times. I always do it blessed and transmuted, because I know there's a lot of spiritual workers out there, and it's sort of like, millionfold, and it's sort of like, well, we've all got to live here. I don't know, how helpful that is for the ecosystem of spirituality, but each to their own. But I would recommend still returning back to sender, because this person does do magic, whether it's mental magic or because even gossiping with 3 people is considered magic. The mind is magic, the tongue is magic, the written word is magic. So put it where it fits. If you sort of feel like, what do you mean magic? This person was cruel, and possibly around cruel people. Maybe made you cruel. Maybe you acted out of character because you were drained and drowning in this darker energy with somebody who hasn't got any respect for themselves. So you couldn't help but go under. Yeah, everything's getting better for you. Yeah, I think you'll end up just feeling trapped in this, but I feel like I don't. You might be getting dreams about this. Job offer keeps showing out, so perhaps that's what you're heading to. Maybe that's what's going to bring this abundance in, if it is money or. But I also feel like abundance isn't just about that. It could just be that you're treating yourself better, you're listening to yourself more, you're getting in sync with who you are, you're being kinder to yourself, you're not putting yourself in karmic situations anymore, your nervous system is getting a chance to rest and find a new dawn. Exactly, high vibration. I don't think this person's going to bring in a high vibration. I think they're going to knock you off your high vibration. Of course, that doesn't mean you're around dancing in the street all the time, or if at all, but this person was... Well, you'll know, won't you? You'll know what this person was making you feel like. Crying, exactly. You don't want to cry anymore. Why would you? I suspect this person's crying. Maybe that's why I'm feeling that weakness, like they wouldn't want anyone to know that. And crying's important, you know, like you need to let go of things. There's a reason it's there. But if you're just constantly crying because somebody's being cruel and unfair, like, Spirit's asking you to have a spiritual bath. Okay, so we've got Twin Flame Awakening on the bottom of the deck, and it is upside down. So if they are going to, they're not there yet. But who knows? No. Messages for the collective, please, spirits, to help them. Yeah, you're getting back into your alignment. You probably left not just this karmic cycle, lots of karmic cycles. People you considered family, friends, co-workers, whatever. It's like you've cleared up your garden of all the things that were dragging you down, and you've started making it beautiful for the butterfly that you are. So you have nice things to fly around and look at, rather than just being dead. And you know, butterflies don't want to be in dead gardens, and I just feel like this person was just constantly giving you a dead garden, if not like digging holes in it and ditches, and so you could fall into them, and they'll have a little laugh when you fall in, and like, just the energy just feels so. I think that's why I'm struggling with this, because I don't know, you know, if I felt it was good, I'd be like, you know, you're gonna have a new beginning with them, and you know, but the mask sideways, I feel like you'd have to swallow, you'd have to swallow your dignity. It says write the book, so I don't know if I'm talking to somebody who's a writer, or maybe you're just journaling, or, but it's upside down, and of course that's only for someone or a handful of you, but I think this person's just going to get in the way of whatever it is you're trying to create. All of a sudden you'll be dealing with this darker vibration. You won't have time or the energy, and I have a feeling like it might interrupt your connection with spirits. Tell me more, please, spirits. For the highest good of all, it's not going to be relaxing, which, you know, obviously people don't have to relax all the time or anything, but there's just, I think you're just going to be like high alert, high adrenaline, nervous system, rocking, somewhere you've already left. Tell me more. Another writer card, so I could definitely be tapping into somebody who's a writer. And again, if that does it, you know, it just something, some endeavour, some gift you've got that you're pursuing. I don't think this person has accepted their shadow, but maybe it's also coming out because the energy doesn't feel so precise right now. Like, I don't really, I feel like this person's got a chance to get back into your energy, despite all the good things you found, despite your garden now starting to bloom, and this person literally would come into that garden like a shadow, killing all the plants. And I think maybe there's a part of you that need to accept your shadow. Is like, why do you want that? Maybe it has something to do with a father figure, you know, like very often our trauma comes from childhood things. It doesn't have to be, but attachment theory, I don't know if you know about that, it's nearly everything has to do with those first 5 years. And if they didn't, you know, if that doesn't go well, other things struggle to go well, because it's sort of like the programming time, and maybe something happens in that time that this still, you know, you still have this sort of love for them more than your own peace. But again, take it where it fits. Like, perhaps it's just a few of you that I can just really feel that energy. Like, maybe you sort of living in hope that they will become the person you want, you know, like it will happen, you know, a bit like the child, like finally I'll do everything and they will love me, they will love me the way I need to be loved if I do everything right, something like that. Not that I feel like you're really in that energy, but yeah. Yeah, so this person took you for granted, but probably didn't make you, it probably took you a while to even recognize that, because you were under so much crap, or you've been through so much trauma. Another fire sign showing out. Yeah, they're scared about you doing well without them, becoming abundant without them, but you're already abundant. I don't care what your status looks like. With spirit and your healing and the fact that you've managed to close this cycle, that is abundance. You know, you could have millions and not be abundant, you know, just a shell of a person. Yeah, right path again. You've had 2 right path cards here. Yes, I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a bit not so optimistic, but I feel like nervous, I think, is the energy. But you'll just go through another karmic cycle, you know, like, but if you get married, you might end up being stuck in that cycle. And maybe you're, you know, maybe that's, oh, I do take things on the floor because I feel like, oh, when I remember. So it's moth to a flame upside down. That makes me think that they're going to be like a moth to your light at first. And that's what's going to be difficult here. You're going to, yeah, because they're a liar. And on victory, this card here, underneath it, I can't remember what card it was I saw, and maybe think lion. It wasn't 7 of Swords, but messages for the collective, please, Spirit. The highest good of all. I think you might just think you can love this person to be the, you know, become the person you want them to be, because that's how you see you, especially if it's a soulmate high level contract, you know, in the 5D, you know, where the ego doesn't exist, they are that person. And I think that's what you're holding on to. That's not who they are down here. God is everywhere. God is everywhere, but maybe this is the kind of energy you're seeing through, rather than, yeah, they are, but a bit like an analogy I used in a few readings back. Do you want to swim with sharks, or do you want to swim with dolphins? And yes, God made both. Is the shark bad? No, we need it. We need the shark in the ecosystem, just like we need the dolphin, but you can choose. Relaxes upright here. And I think it's because you'd be better off being with somebody who doesn't try to use mind control and manipulative tactics and possibly have a secret life, I'm hearing. And choose a path where it's more relaxing, like better for your nervous system. Messages for the collective, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all. Yeah, so you had people in your energy that weren't good friends, and I don't think this person's going to, like, even if you did marry them, I don't think they're going to be a good friend even, you know. They're not, I just got an image of, like, leaving you crying in a room and knowing full well they made you cry and just leaving you there. You know what, it was just very lonely. Or perhaps this did happen. Well, you know, it's coming, but they could have 2 minutes. I think they're coming and your own path is coming, and it's up to you what you want to choose. I mean, they're both your path if you choose them, but what one do you want to do? I think you're going to be torn. I think you're going to end up not feeling as tapped in either with this. Yeah, it'll be hard to keep your vibration up, and with, you know, spirit guides and stuff, when you're with somebody who could actually be tapped in, but they use it to manipulate. They could actually have spiritual gifts, but they use them negatively. And I could be tapping into somebody who's been through like serious tragic abuse as a child, which makes that's why maybe I'm feeling like this is so hard. It'll be so hard because you learned to love something that should never have been loved when you were young, you know, like, so you look at this with different eyes, but obviously that's not all of you. Messages for the collective, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all in God's will. Oh, that's a lot that fell down there. Just take things minute by minute, because I do keep feeling like that keeps flashing out. And, you know, this does come in. Take things minute by minute. You don't owe this person an answer straight away if you really do feel on the fence and confused. And, you know, give yourself that time to relax before you start saying, yeah, I'll meet you now. You know, like, obviously, you know, again, free will, but... I just feel a sadness about this reading overall. I just feel like you have changed for the better, but if you let this in, you're just going to let that go, and you're also going to sort of give up your connection to your angels. And essentially your happiness in the name of love. I think you're just going to find it very hard to love this person from a distance. But the choice is yours. You know, you don't... And maybe I don't know why this energy is so strong. You know, it might not be all of you. You know, hopefully there's some of you out there just like, no way. Like, I learned this karmic cycle. I love my new abundant life, whatever that might look like. And I can feel I'm on the right path. I know good things are coming. I don't want to be with somebody who did that to me or is likely to do that again, you know, be cruel and things. But I also feel like I'm tapping into someone today who, yeah, coming back, deceptive, abuse, who hasn't completely healed this sort of energy in them. And it's not your fault. Don't start beating yourself up. It's not your fault that you're still have a bond with this cruelty, deception, abuse and stuff, especially if you had it as a child. It's sort of like imprinted in you to some degree, but you don't have to choose it. Spirit's letting you know, basically, you will find your own abundance. You don't need them, okay? But I think you're going to feel like you do. Spirit's asking you to hold on. Another fire sign showing out. Yeah, so you're going to be getting dreams. Spirit's going to be visiting your dreams. And obviously Spirit's brought this out because they're concerned too. They don't want you to step off your right path with the dolphins and the lovely garden. And, you know, with your own endeavours and your own hobbies or whatever it looks like. And go back to something that's cruel and deceptive where there's a mask. Possibly there will still be third parties even if their main one's over. But there's very likely going to be some kind of abundance here. But you're in a wedding, but that might be it. Messages for the collective, please, Spirit. I need to enter. God is here again. Okay. Yeah, spiritual practice upside down. They understand now. But I just think they understand now that if they don't come in with something like a high level of commitment, I wouldn't be surprised if this person's got a reading on you and they found out that you're on the right path. You're well tapped in with your spirit team, and there's no space for them. But if they come back without it overarching for too long, and you get healthier, you truly manage to heal this wound of possibly from childhood, that they won't get in, and they understand that now. But just take things minute by minute. Don't stress about this, because again, you'll just be going into the same energy that you were. But I am being led to magic here. Spiritual bath. Have a spiritual bath. Use black salt if you can, but salt will do to clear up your energies. And just speak to your spirit team. You've done so much good work. You've done so much good work, and you know your spirit team love you. That's why they bring this out. They don't want you to stop evolving, and they're worried. I think they're worried about this person coming in, derailing you from that. And again, of course, I'm sure you can choose these paths, and it doesn't mean your spirit team just like, oh, bye. That's not you're not getting. I just think you just wouldn't have the energy, because you'll be just so consumed with their heavier, darker energy, and you probably have already been here. Anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you for being here. And Archangel Michael, please bless myself and the collective. So mote it be.